Hey guys, I'm Urizi. This story is all about what if Naruto and the rise of the Uzumaki clan. The world believed that the Uzumaki were extinct and completely forgot about them. After years of laying low, they will re-emerge and make themselves known again to deliver vengeance to those who sought to destroy their family. Being descendants of the sage, it is also their task to keep the balance in the world by peace and war. Before we proceed with the story, please like and subscribe to this channel if you liked the video, and don't forget to check the description for the other works of the author if you liked the story. Let's start. Chapter 13, Waves and Whirlpools. Time skip, 5 years. Konohagakure. It has been almost 7 years now since the incident happened. Konohagakure have recovered from the raid. Although slowly, investors have returned and once again made contracts to hire ninja from Konoha to do work. 2 years after the Kumo and Iwa raid, the Uchiha clan almost tore the village apart into a civil war. They did not like the treatment they were receiving. Those who had knowledge about tailed beasts still blamed the Uchiha for the Kyuubi's rampage almost 6 years ago. The hatred towards them increased after the consecutive attacks the village received after the raid. With the whole clan backing him, Fugaku planned on taking over the leaf. The Hokage somewhat found about the Uchiha's coup d'état thanks to Shisui Uchiha, who wanted peace. He managed to avoid civil war by peaceful means. Sarutobi offered Fugaku a higher place in the village and made a public announcement about the Uchiha clan, making up a story and telling the villagers that the Uchiha clan was a clan who loved the village and did everything they can to protect it, that the Kyuubi incident was only an accident and were not caused by them. After the declaration, the villagers were no longer hostile to the Uchiha and started to become friendly with them once again. Fugaku and his kinsmen were satisfied with this and forgave the people of their actions and attitude towards them. 2 years ago, the elders Shimura Danzo, Mito Kato Homura, and Yuditen Koharu finally woke up from their 5-year comatose. When the three found out about the following attacks after they were put into coma, they were horrified with the news and the events that followed. Danzo was angered and demanded Sarutobi to declare war against Kumo and Iwa. Sarutobi managed to defuse the tension and informed them that he had been doing his best by blackmailing the two village leaders. After some convincing and giving black news, the Hokage managed to steal Kumo and Iwa's contractors and had them ask work from Konoha instead. Although pleased with this, the three were annoyed with the fact that they can no longer sleep no matter what they do. Whenever they took sleeping pills, they will simply get major headaches. The same effect happened when they tried force sleeping jutsus on themselves. The Hokage was very confident of his blackmailing that he did not even consider thinking that he might have angered the Chuchikage and the Raikage, in which of course he had successfully done. On the first 3 years of receiving blackmail from the Hokage, the Kumo and Iwa leaders tried their best to ignore the letters and forgave the old monkey. When Saru finally pushed them to their limit, Onaki and I made a secret meeting, and after a year of negotiations and trash talking, the two finally came into an agreement, with Kiri following a few months after the civil war. As of now, Kumo, Iwa, and Kiri are in a secret alliance. Their plan was to attack and destroy Konoha in the coming Chunin exams. Unknown to the two male village leaders, they were not the only ones planning to make a move against the leaf during the said exams. The civil war in Kirigakure ended 3 years ago. The bloodline faction of course won. Uzumaki Mei, or Terumi Mei, as non-Uzumakis know her, became Godaima Mizukage. A week after the war, it was then revealed that the Yondaima Mizukage had been under the influence of a genjutsu, and more specifically, an Uchiha's genjutsu. The news about an Uchiha causing war in Kiri traveled throughout the elemental nations quickly. Upon learning about this news, the Mizukage received an invitation from both Chuchikage and Raikage proposing an alliance to destroy Konoha for their crimes. The people of Kiri wanted to wage war to Konoha when they were informed about the Yondaima Mizukage being controlled, but they couldn't do anything about it as they suffered heavy losses due to the civil war. When Mei told her village about Kumo and Iwa's proposed alliance, they immediately agreed to it and actually pleaded their Mizukage to accept the offer. With the Godaima's leadership, Kiri was back to its feet in less than 2 years. Now that the Chunin exams were coming, the Kumo-Iwa-Kiri alliance was now making final preparations for Konoha's supposed destruction. Sarutobi, however, never imagined that villages will gang up against the leaf. The Hokage had been planning to use the Chunin exams to their advantage to attract more customers and people who will hire Leaf Nin. Since Konoha will be hosting this year's coming Chunin exams, he asked the Jonin senseis to train there to be students hard in the coming months before the said event. This year's graduating batch mostly consisted of clan heirs and prodigies. Sarutobi had been keeping a close eye on the 9 of them and already planned their team assignments. This year's graduating batch consisted of Uchiha Sasami, daughter of the Uchiha clan head, a prodigy of this year's batch. Although only a to be genin, her skills are almost on par with a low Chunin level. Her teammates will be the Inyazuka clan heir, Kiba, and the heir of the Aburame clan, Shino, another prodigy. The next team consisted of the Hyuga heir, Neji, the daughter of Konoha's weapons master, Tenten, and the daughter of a civilian councilor representative, Hara no Sakura. Neji was also a prodigy that is a rival of Uchiha Sasami. He too had the skills that can match a low-level Chunin. Sasami and Neji tied for the Rookie of the Year. Tenten was a weapons mistress and also took her training seriously. Sakura was a bookworm and was the second highest girl in their batch. The next team was the next generation's Inoshikacho trio. No need for an explanation for that. Hokage Office. Kakashi. You will be the Jonin sensei of this year's Team 7. Since you wield the Sharingan, I'm putting Uchiha Sasami in your team. The other two will be Inyazuka Kiba and Aburame Shino. Oh. The Uchiha prodigy? I hear she's a stuck-up arrogant little shit. The silver-haired Jonin said, still keeping his eyes on his porn book. Never let Fugaku hear you saying that. Although I must agree with you, the girl's a brat. I wish them luck on their bell test. Sarutobi said while chuckling to himself. He took his pipe and puffed smoke before continuing. Guy. You will be the other prodigy's Jonin sensei. You will have Hyuga Neji on your team. The other two members will be Tenten and Sakura. You will be Team 9. Asuma. You will be the Jonin sensei of this generation's Inoshikacho trio. You will be Team 10. That's all. I wish them all luck. I hope they all pass the bell test. Any questions? Asked the Hokage. Said Asuma. Pops, you skipped Team 8. Oh. Don't worry about Team 8. Sarutobi said as he stood from his desk and faced the window and puffed smoke from his pipe. I already have members and a Jonin sensei in mind. Team 8 will be especially created as backup for the Chunin exams. The members will be composed of Rutumbu while their sensei will be Yui Kurenai, whom I will be promoting to Jonin next week. Do not tell her anything about this meeting. Dismissed. Uzushiagakur. It has been 5 years since the family discovered Naruto having the Mokuton bloodline. That incident was dubbed as Naruto's first morning wood that earned laughs to the elders. Naruto's batch is currently on their 7th year in the academy, meaning they will be taking their graduation exam, go on an A-rank mission. Since their batch consisted of prodigies, the Uzukage and the council have decided to send their batch to an S-rank mission. During their academy days, Naruto and his classmates learned extreme chakra control exercises, ninjutsu, medical ninjutsu, elemental manipulation, weapons mastery, genjutsu, taijutsu, summoning, and collaboration techniques. They were also put into situations where they had to learn to immediately devise a plan, choose the right decisions right on the spot, such as life or death situations. They were also trained into the art of the shadow, where they performed assassinations, infiltrations, and extreme stealth in broad daylight and open area. Naruto level was currently on par with a Jonin on normal standards. During his time in the academy, he mastered his created sword style, the Dance of Six Deaths, created 3 S-rank jutsus, added elemental manipulation on the Rasengan, and mastered the Hiraishin. His Hiraishin no Jutsu creates an orange flash that gave him another title, the Orange Maelstrom. With the help of a storm operative named Tenzo, Naruto also learned to use his Mokuton bloodline. Tenzo was created in one of Orochimaru's previous base in Konoha. Without the Snake Sun in knowing, Danzo Shimura broke into his lab and nurtured kidnapped babies and implanted Hashirama Senju's DNA in them. Eventually, Danzo destroyed the laboratory when he found out that the experiments died. Through the orders of the previous Uzukage who were friends with Orochimaru, storm operatives went to the lab and found one survivor. Under the care of Tsunade, Tenzo was raised up and eventually joined the storm at the age of 13. Nobody else knew about the boy's Mokuton abilities aside from the Uzukage's family and all storm operatives. Naruto can now call upon the powers of wood release without losing his connection with Kurama. Thanks to the scrolls the storm recovered during the second to the last raid, his abilities with the Mokuton was now better than Tenzo's. Since Naruto had the Mokuton naturally, he was able to produce and control wood easier compared to the storm. At the age of 12, Naruto now stood 5 feet tall. His long blonde hair was tied in a ponytail while his 2 bangs hanged freely in front of his face, making him look more hot for the girls. He now wore a white long cloak with orange foxes and fires on the bottom of it. On the inside, he wore black long sleeves and a dark blue vest with the symbol of the Uzumaki clan in the middle. On the bottom part he wore a dark blue combat pants with lots of pockets and lastly, a black combat boots that can transform into a short sword when channeled with chakra. During his 3rd year, Naruto met a blonde teenager named Deidara. The teen declared to everyone in Uza that he was his proud sensei. Deidara taught Naruto in the arts of explosion. Before Deidara met Naruto, he was a member of Akatsuki and helped overthrow Hanzo the Salamander. He finally got information about his student after he gained Nagato's trust. After 3 years of apprenticing Naruto, Deidara returned to Ame, or the 3rd city, and once again took his position as a member of the Akatsuki. Naruto has in his arsenal the paper jutsu Konan taught him, the bombing techniques Deidara taught him, the Fire Fox Rasengan and the Wind-style Raisin Shuriken, Mokuton, the Dance of 6 Deaths, and the things he learned from the academy plus 3 more S-rank jutsus he created with the help of his uncle Rikaudo. His control with Kurama's chakra was also doing well, he can now call up to the 7th tail without losing consciousness. Meanwhile, Sasuke awakened his Mangekyo Sharingan on their 6th year to the academy due to the extreme training they had. Tobi naturally took him under his wing and helped him train with the Uchiha clan's jutsus and especially, the jutsus for the Mangekyo. So far Sasuke can do the Kamui with a mild chakra drain while the Amaterasu drained him half of his reserves. He can, however, complete the level 1 stage of the Susanoo with only a small drain of his chakra. Sasuke was 2 inches taller than Naruto. He wore a dark blue long coat with the ancient Uchiha crest on the back. On the inside he wore the same clothes Naruto wore. Except that his long sleeves were dark blue instead of black. Sasuke's long raven hair was also tied into a ponytail. When it wasn't tied, he looked exactly like Madara back when he was also younger, which scared Tobi. Ironically, it was Naruto who inherited Madara's famous attitude during battle, which scared Tobi even more. Meanwhile, Hinata and Shien grew up looking identical except with their eyes and hair. They both wore lavender clothing with a hoodie that made them look like twins whenever they were together. They became best friends due to them both having feelings for Naruto. Although not placed on the same team, they made a good duo whenever they battled. Hinata's affinity was water while Shien was lightning, making their ninjutsu attacks even more dangerous. Like his friends, Lee also had long hair. His hair however was long enough to reach his waist, with the end tied together. His hairstyle looked exactly the same as the males from Konoha's Hyuga clan. Lee wore samurai clothing and armor like the one his sensei Kaze wore. Under apprenticeship to the veteran samurai, Lee can now open up to the 7th gate. His taijutsu techniques was stronger and more dangerous due to the fact that Tsunade trained him as well. Yakumo Kurama was more confident now compared to the last time she was in Konoha. She can now alter reality into illusions with multiple layers as backup without difficulty. Yakumo was now hailed as Uzu's Genjutsu princess, with Natsuki still being the Genjutsu queen. Yakumo wore simple clothing like the ones Hinata and Shien wore. Fu on the other hand wore clothing that showed her fine-toned stomach. She wouldn't have to worry about her armor because of her ability to harden her skin thanks to the demon sealed inside her. Speaking of the demon, Komei and Fu's friendship was now stronger. Fu can now call up to 4 tails without losing consciousness. Uzukage office. Good morning. First of all, I would like to congratulate each and every one of you for making this far. Today, you will be receiving your graduating mission. Complete the mission and you pass. Fail it, then you all go back to the academy to study and train for another year. The Uzukage sat behind her desk while the graduating batch stood in attention and listened to her. The Jonin senseis were also present in the office and stood beside their leader's desk. Normally, teams would be sent on different missions to perform their test. This batch, however, will be sent on a single location and will have the same objective. Your mission is to reinstate a small country from a tyrant and raise the Uzumaki flag once again in that country. In other words, you will be conquering a small country. You are going to Nami no Kuni. The time has come for the Uzumaki clan to resurface from hiding. The Uzukage paused and watched the Academy genins. Seeing no protests or whatsoever from them, she continued. Wave Country is currently ruled by a drug lord, who happened to be one of the richest people in the elemental nations. The Wave was once a rich country before they lost connection to Uzu because of the Kumo-Kiriwa alliance. The country became poor when Gato took over and stole the country's wealth and businesses. He was also the one behind the assassination of the Wave daimyo and his family. Gato uses its people as slaves and trades the women to other big-shot syndicates. Kill Gato and his followers. Destroy his bases. Find the people who had been traded and return them to Wave. Return what Gato stole. Help them rebuild and convert Wave into Nyuzu's fourth city. I hear a man named Tajuna is building a huge bridge to connect Wave to Fire Country. Convince him to destroy it and create a bridge connecting to Water Country instead. Tajuna is a childhood friend of the former Uzukage. Just let him know about Uzu's current status and you'll get the villagers' favor easily. This mission is an A rank and has a high chance to become an S rank, considering that Gato's a wealthy man. He probably has one or more S-class criminals under his payroll, so I highly advise you to review the latest edition of our bingo books. Prepare to face nuke nins that can rival even an Uzumaki chunin. Defeat them and let the rest of the world know of your strength. The time has come for the world to recognize the Uzumaki clan once again. Namikaze Uzumaki Naruto, since you are the top student of your batch, I am assigning you as the main leader of this mission. Who you assign as the small team's captains is up to you. Use your time to talk with them and devise a plan. You have 2 days to prepare. I'm giving you a maximum of 5 months to complete this mission. May Kami bless you and your classmates. Dismissed. Naruto and his classmates bowed and left the office. Their senseis however remained and waited for the Uzukage to speak. You will be watching them in the shadows to evaluate their performance. You are strictly not allowed to assist them during the mission unless they're in the face of death. Only when they have eliminated Gato and his followers you will show up to help them with the country's restoration. 1 day later. Uzushiagakuer Academy. Naruto was currently in front of the classroom writing on the board. He was now briefing his classmates about the mission. Alright, listen up. Naruto said. Right after we were debriefed for the mission, I immediately sent out 3 dozen clones to scout Wave. They arrived at the country last night and started relate information. From what they have seen, the situation there is really bad. The country's being guarded by criminals so no villager could escape. Gato has hired the 7 ninja swordsmen of the mist as well as another S-rank criminal named Kakuzu. My clones also managed to find Gato's bases and some of his operations. My clones are still tracking the places where the Wave citizens were being shipped. Naruto took out a marker and began writing on the board. According to the latest edition of the bingo book, the 7 ninja swordsmen of the mist left and became rogue when the civil war broke out. All 7 are masters of the silent killing technique and were the strongest warriors in Kiri before they left. We wouldn't have to worry about the mist since our wind jutsus are strong enough to blow it away. Our main focus now is fighting them head on. We cannot be too confident against them. The 7 ninja swordsmen of the mist are famous and feared for a reason. Jinin Akabino, the strongest of the 7, wields the Kabutori. His weapon is a single-sided axe chained to a hammer on the other end. It is said that the sword can break any kind of defense. Kisame Hoshigaki, an S-rank criminal, who is also known as the Tailless Biju, wields the Samehata. The Samehata is a sentient weapon that has the ability to eat chakra and transfer to its wielder. Kisame was chosen by the sword itself due to his very high chakra reserves. Mangetsu Hozuki, who is reputed as the second coming of the demon, can wield all 7 blades. As of now he currently wields the Hiramekarei. The Hiramekarei is a sword that is capable of storing and emitting the user's chakra which can then take on various forms. Kushimaru Kuriareri wields the Nuibari. It is a sword that is in shape of a needle with a long thin wire attached to it. It can be used to pierce through victims and sew them together. Zabuza Mamakai, the first demon of Kiri, is the one who wields the Kubiki Ribocha. It is a giant sword that has an ability to restore itself using the iron absorbed from the blood of those it cuts down. Traveling alongside Zabuza is a boy named Haku. Haku is the same age as us and has the Hayaton release. Like his master, he is also Jonin level. Next is Jinpachi Munashi who wields the Shivuki. The sword is huge and has a scroll full of unlimited explosive tags incorporated into it, lined up behind the blade. Last swordsman is a kunoichi named Amayuri Ringo. She wields the Kiba blades, twin swords that are imbued with lightning which increases its cutting power. Another S-rank criminal is Kakuzu who came from Taki. As we all know, Kakuzu was the only assassin sent to kill Senju Hashirama and survived after the attempt. Kakuzu is hailed as immortal as he lives up to this day. Storm operatives managed to uncover his secret. Along with the Kinjutsu Earth Grudge Fear, Kakuzu uses and has 5 hearts or masks for each element, meaning he has 5 lives. His main heart is Earth and has the ability to make the other 4 hearts separate from his body and take another form. In order to kill him completely, all 5 hearts must be destroyed before he gets the chance to find new victims to replace his destroyed hearts. These 9 are our main problems. The rest are A-rank criminals or lower that we can easily kill. When the battle commences, our first objective is to kill the other mercenaries before the 9 could respond and attack us back. Since our class has 9 teams, I will be assigning a target for each team that matches with the enemy's abilities. Team 1 will be me, Sasuke, and Hinata. We will be facing Kisame Hoshigaki since we are all heavy hitters. Team 2 will be Fu, Karen, and Lee. Fu will be Team 2's captain. They will be fighting Kakuzu. Since 2 of the other hearts can take a form that can fly, Fu will be the best match for them as she can also fly while Lee takes care of the other hearts with Karen as support using her chakra chains to restrain the other hearts down. Team 3 will be Tayuya, Shion, and Yakumo. Tayuya will be Team 3's captain. They will be fighting Mangetsu. It will be a perfect match since the enemy is a member of the Hozuki clan, who has the ability to transform their bodies into water making them invulnerable to physical attacks at times. Shion has a strong affinity to lightning which she can use to her advantage whenever Mangetsu turns himself into water while Tayuya and Yakumo are genjutsu users. Tayuya can use her doki for physical confrontation while still at a distance. Yakumo can put the enemy into a genjutsu preventing him from liquefying himself. Team 4 will be the Subaku siblings. Gaara will be the team leader. Team 4's opponent will be Jinin. Team 5 will be Seikon, Yukon, Jirobo, and Kidomaru, or as they call themselves, the Sound 4. The twins will be the team captains. The Sound 4 will be fighting Zabuza. Team 6 will be Dosa, Kin, and Zaku. Dosa will be team captain. Team 6 will be fighting against the Hayaton user Haku. Naruto then assigned the remaining swordsmen to the 3 remaining teams. Teams 3 to 9 are to immediately assist Team 2 take down Kakuzu once they have dealt with their opponent. Since wave isn't far enough, we will be entering wave in an invasion-like manner. Each team will come from a side. One from the north, east, west, south, northwest, northeast, southwest, and southeast. My team will be arriving in the middle of the village. I already had my clones mark various places in the village with high-ration tags. We will attack all at once. So we're going to have to wait for the other teams to be in position. Kill all enemies as quick as possible. Create clones and have them escort the villagers into a safe location. Our 9 strongest opponents will be no doubt guarding Geto. That will give us the chance to kill the rest of the man's followers, leaving them the only ones in the end. Naruto then took out sealing tags and began drawing on them. After a few minutes, he handed each one to his classmates. That is a special tracking seal I made. Activate it by applying your own blood to it. It will then dissipate afterwards. That seal will allow us to communicate with each other mentally even on great distances. His classmates nodded and activated their seals. Once done, Naruto nodded to test it. All right. Can everyone hear me? Raise your hand if you can. Naruto said. Everyone in the room raised their hands and got an approving nod from their mission leader. Good. We're going to one of our training grounds and have it morph into a replica of Wave Country and make an invading simulation. My clones just finished scouting the whole country and sent me the whole outline. Let's move. The class never noticed the other presents in the room, which were their senseis. They were giving their nods of approval and were amazed by Naruto's quick thinking and leadership skills. Later that night, Uzumaki streets. Naruto and his friends just finished their attack simulation and were heading to Ichiraku's. They were having a good time along the way. Yo! Naruto called as he entered the restaurant. Good evening, Teiuchi-san, Ayame-chan. Good evening, Naruto-kun. The usual order for you and your friends. Hi. Triple the servings for me since we will be going on a long-term mission. I won't have Ichiraku ramen for about 5 months. Alright, then. Please make yourselves comfortable. Teiuchi smiled as Naruto and his friends found a table for 16. Ayame, you're free to go. Join them for dinner. The chef's daughter nodded and happily walked towards Naruto's table. She sat beside him and took out a book from her bag and stared at Naruto expectantly. Naruto asked. Come on, Naruto-kun. Sign it. Ayame said as she pressed the book towards the boy's chest. Heh. So, did you like it? Yes. It was great. I hope you could write a sequel for it. At least make 3 books. If many people like the first book, then I will. Naruto promised. Alright then. Now sign this for me please. Ayame said while pouting. Naruto's classmates watched them in confusion. Naruto-kun. What book is she talking about? Asked Hinata. Oh. This. Naruto took the book from Ayame and showed them. The book was entitled, The Whirlpool Princess. Everyone's jaw dropped. Sasuke was the first to recover. Wait. You're the one who wrote this book. He said as he took out the same book Ayame had. The rest of Naruto's friends did the same and took out their own copies of The Whirlpool Princess and handed it to Naruto to sign. I didn't know you wrote this book. Naruto-kun. The story is awesome. And to think that it has been only a week since it got released, many people have already bought it. Lee said, the others nodding in agreement. Hi. Thanks, I guess. I'm glad you liked it. I didn't expect it will be that popular considering it was recently released. You are so humble, Naruto-kun. Everybody knows you are a genius, of course your book will be famous real fast. Now please sign our copies. Lee excitedly said. It explains why some scenes in the book are familiar. Shion commented as Naruto signed their copies. How come you guys never realized? Ayame asked. We didn't know. Everyone said. Naruto was too busy training. I never thought he'd have the time to write a book. Sasuke reasoned. I used shadow clones while I was training. Explained Naruto. Well, that explains it. Alright. Here's your order. Teiuchi interrupted. Extra servings for everyone since it is your graduation mission. And don't worry about the expenses, it's on the house tonight. Eat and order all you can. The old man said as he placed the bowls in front of the genins. Oh, and Naruto-kun. Let's just say I'm going to consider your autograph as payment for the meal tonight. Teiuchi said as he also took out a copy of The Whirlpool Princess and handed it to the boy to sign. The Whirlpool Princess was a book written by Naruto. He and Ayame had a conversation about him writing a book one time he was dining at Ichiraku's. Ayame only meant it as a joke while Naruto took it seriously. The story was about an orphan girl who was treated as a pariah by the village she lived at. Eventually, she found out that she had a living family. Through a dream, she managed to contact them. After a few days, operatives were sent to rescue her. When she got to her real homeland, she found out that she actually came from a royal family. There she started a new life. Naruto based the story from his real-life story. He planned on writing 2 more books that will be the sequel. Now that he found out that his first book already sold many copies, He will be writing the sequel soon. The next day. Land of Waves border. We're on position. Said Fu through the mental link. My team's ready to kick some ass. Tayuya proudly said, earning snickers from her classmates. Team 4 awaiting orders. Said Gaara. The Sound 4's ready to kick some butt as well. Seikon said. Yeah. Yukon agreed. Calm down guys. Team 6 on position as well. Said Dosa. Team 7 in position. We're good to go too. Team 8's captain said. Team 9 ready. All right. Naruto said. We strike in 3, 2, 1. Nami no Kuni. Boom. Whoosh. Slash. Sounds of battle were heard throughout the whole island. They're coming. Prepare for battle. A mercenary bandit said before a kunai pierced his skull. Cried one mercenary as he got crushed and buried alive by a sand coffin. Village center. What's going on? A boy screamed while his mother hugged him in a protective manner. An old man was also with them. He had an idea of what was going on, but before he could answer, there was an orange flash in front of them. One of them quickly created dozens of copies of him and began to slaughter Gato's mercenaries that were near the area. Ugh. How come you and your family's enjoying the sensation? I think I'm going to be sick. Sasuke said. Oh, shut up. Don't be a baby. Look at Hinata, she's fine. Said Naruto. Na Naruto-kun. I think I'm going to be sick too. What? Excuse me? The old man coughed, gaining the attention of the newcomers. Who are you three? Oh. Right. I'm sorry. I'm Naruto. This is Sasuke and Hinata. You must be Tajuna. The beautiful lady's Tsunami while the kids Inari. Yes. How do you know us? Long story. Follow my clone. He will lead you to safety and explain everything. Here's password, the whirlpools once again swirl. Tajuna at first wondered what password the boy was talking about. When he heard the phrase, he remembered and understood. Flashback. Wave country before Uzu's supposed downfall. Tajuna my friend, when the time comes, Uzushiagakuer will once again resurface from hiding and Nami will finally be as one with Whirlpool. Remember this phrase, the whirlpools once again swirl. We will contact you again through that. Goodbye for now and take care. Arashi the Uzukage said. Flashback end. What the? Naruto thought as he sensed a very strong chakra signature. Naruto-kun. That chakra. Kurama warned. You guys need to go. Now. Naruto told the family. Please follow me. The clone said. A few moments after Tajuna's family left, a blue creature appeared in front of Team 1. So you're the upstarts that killed the other mercenaries. Not that I care about them. Say hello to Samehata. Said Kisame. Kisame Hoshigaki, monster of the hidden mist, or also known as the tailless Biju because of your huge chakra reserves, wielder of the Samehata, murderer of Sukazan Fugyuki, who was the sword's previous wielder, former member of Kirigakuer's 7 ninja swordsmen. You are also wanted for murdering your teammates back during a mission. Naruto recited. Well done, kid. You've done your research. The Nukenin said mockingly. Naruto did not respond but instead told his teammates to scatter. So you brats want to play now, huh? Initiate level 1 attacks. Let's see first how this guy moves. Ordered Naruto. Hinata and Sasuke nodded. The three then began launching waves of kunais, senbons, and throwing stars at the shark man. Kisame dodged, parried, and evaded the waves of deadly weapons. This continued for 3 minutes. Level 2. Go. Said Naruto. The three then launched more waves and this time, the projectiles had explosive tags attached to each. The Nukenin was now starting to get annoyed. Is that all you got? You brats are annoying. Level 3. Hinata and Sasuke then nodded and began weaving seals. Fire style, fireball jutsu. Water style, water ball jutsu. Lightning style, lightning ball jutsu. Water style, water torrent. As the jutsus were called, Naruto simply held his arms out. From his sleeves came out dozens of origami foxes with sharp fangs and wings. The foxes headed straight to its target. Kisame simply smirked as he dodged and countered the 4 jutsus with ease using his own jutsus. As the paper foxes neared him, he simply raised Samehada to destroy them. However, he did not expect them to be explosive as well. His clothes got singed and the sleeves got tattered in the process. "You've done it, kid. I'm going to enjoy killing you," growled Kisame. "Remember, never let him get near you. That sword of his will drain your chakra," Naruto warned. "Hi," replied Hinata and Sasuke. For the next 5 minutes, Kisame tried to slice the 3 but always ended up killing a lightning clone or an explosive clone. His clothes were now in tatters while the 3 remained unscathed. Naruto had this idea of creating dozens of clones and taking the forms of him, Sasuke and Hinata. Whenever they are about to get hit, they will substitute themselves with one of the hidden clones that were scattered and hidden in the battlefield and get hit by Kisame instead. Time for the real fun. Initiate level 4 attacks. "You brats sure know how to fight against someone who wields Samehada," Kisame commented as he watched the 3 warily. He was startled when the boys vanished and reappeared on his sides, attempting to slice him. Sasuke now had his katana out and coated it with lightning while Naruto had his bow staff coated with wind chakra blades. The 3 battled with their weapons for about 7 minutes. While they battled, Hinata used the Gyuken to seal off the Nukanin's chakra points whenever Kisame will be too busy defending himself from Naruto or Sasuke or both. Also, during the battle, Naruto could not help himself but get more and more excited. Kurama felt this and realized her host might soon go all out. "He. You're good. You definitely live up to your title." Naruto laughed. He mentally ordered Sasuke and Hinata to stay back as he sealed his bow staff and unsealed his 6 swords. He threw them to the air and caught them with his dance of 6 deaths stance. "Let's dance," Naruto said, sending chills up to Kisame's spine. Sasuke then realized that this was the thing Tobi feared about the blonde. Right now, Naruto was about to have a Madara moment. Team 2's POV. Fu, Lee, and Karen were doing fine with their own battle. Earlier, Lee managed to destroy the Nukanin's water heart about 7 minutes after they started fighting. Kakuzu made the mistake of underestimating his opponents and cost him 1 life. Another reason was because of his mind being too focused about Gato and the money he will be receiving once he deals with the weaklings. Right now Lee was battling against the lightning heart while Fu fought against the wind heart. Karen held the fire heart at bay with her chakra chains while also keeping Kakuzu's main body which had the earth heart from interfering. "This is taking too long. We haven't been able to destroy another heart for almost 20 minutes now," Lee thought as he dodged a chain of lightning bolts. "Lee, Karen, we need to take this to the next level," Fu replied as she flew after the wind heart while also dodging wind cannons. "Right," nodded Lee. "Understood," said Karen. "Kome. Let's do this." "Right." Tailed Beast Mode version 2. Yelled both Fu and Kome. Lee yelled as he stopped attacking and went into a stance. Kaimon, Kai, Gate of Opening, Release. Kyomen, Kai, Gate of Healing, Release. Siamen, Kai, Gate of Life, Release. Kuchi Yasei no Jutsu, proclaimed Karen as she bit her thumb and slammed the ground. Red chakra flowed out of Fu's body and later got completely covered by it. Fu was now standing on 4 as her 7 chakra tails waved freely. Meanwhile, Lee was now covered by an orange aura. His once black straight hair now looked spiky and orange. Orange lightning crackled around him as he channeled more chakra. On the other hand, Karen was now standing on top of a red dragon. "Attack!" Fu commanded. Team 3's POV. "Ha ha ha. Take that, shithead!" Tayuya screamed as her doki smashed their target. Team 3 was now dominating the battle against Mangetsu. With the combination of Yakumo and Shien's attacks, the swordsman's water form became useless. He now had no choice but to fight in solid form. Earlier, They were on the losing ground as the Hozuki relentlessly attacked them, giving them no time to coordinate attacks. The tables turned when Yakumo successfully managed to capture Mangetsu on a genjutsu even on a short time. That short moment gave them the opportunity to proceed with their planned attack. Yakumo repeatedly cast the burning coffin burial against the swordsman, restraining his movements. Mangetsu would morph his whole body into water to extinguish the flames. However, Shion would simply bombard him with lightning jutsus. Since they fought on water, the lightning jutsu's damage increased drastically. Earlier, Mangetsu thought that he would easily overpower Team 3 as their battle terrain was on a lake. He now realized that his opponents really did prepare for him. Mangetsu smiled as he slowly fell. He congratulated the three for defeating him and apologized to them for underestimating them earlier. "Suijutsu, avenge your brother," were his last words. The three nodded and sighed in relief as they finally defeated the swordsman. Tayuya took out 2 scrolls and sealed Mangetsu's corpse in one and the Hiramekarei in the other. Just then, they felt a disturbance in the atmosphere. It seems that Lee's activated the inner gates. Fu's gone into tailed beast mode since I sense demonic chakra. I also smell dragon fire. Karen must have summoned her partner. Team 2's going all out. We need to assist them. Let's move. Tayuya commanded. Team 4's POV. We must hurry. Fu's gone into tailed beast mode already. Gaara told his siblings through the mental link. This guy is too strong. He even managed to destroy my puppets. A winded Kankuro said. This swordsman's no joke. He even made me use up to my fan's 5th moon. Replied Tamari. I can still use the broken limbs to attack him. Tamari, I'll combine my poison darts with your wind jutsu. I got it. Tamari replied as she now opened her fan holy, showing 7 moons. You got 5 seconds. Attack while I distract him with my sand. Gaara said as he raised his arms and formed sand spikes and sent them flying towards their opponent. Collaboration technique, poisoned wind blades. Kankuro and Tamari said as the girl did a 1080-degree spin and released hundreds of giant wind blades. The puppet user released all poison darts and had them fly along his sister's attack. Due to the strong wind, the poison dart's speed increased drastically. Jinin was unable to dodge the barrage of attacks and had to use the Kabutori to deflect the darts. His efforts were in vain as he still got pierced by dozens of poison darts. The swordsman's movements became sluggish until he became totally still. Damn it! I got defeated by brats? No. This poison is nothing. I can still fight. Jinin thought as he channeled more chakra to nullify the effects of the poison. You'll have to do better than that. Surely, but slowly, he once again began to move. He charged towards the nearest target, who was the red-haired boy. Let me out. Komei's out. Let me out too. Whined Shukaku, sounding like a child, in which of course he was. At least in tailed beast terms, he was the youngest with Kurama being the eldest. Fine. Finish this guy already so we could help Team 2. Gaara replied as the swordsman neared. Red chakra poured out of the redhead's body, encasing him with it. As Jinin raised the Kabutori to pummel the boy, a singular tail of chakra grew from the boy's back. Gaara simply raised his arms and held the enemy's blade by the blunt side. Wrong choice of target. Gaara told the swordsman, making his eyes widen in fear. That chakra. It's like the Yondai Mizukage's. Correct. Any last words? Die, demon. Jinin screamed as he applied more force to bring his weapon down. Gaara merely redirected the attack and tossed his opponent like a ragdoll. Due to his current mode, his strength and power greatly increased. Jinin was sent crashing towards a tree. Due to the force of it, he got 2 broken ribs and a dislocated leg in the process. One rib pierced through his lung, making his breathing difficult. He tried to stand up but found that he could not as he saw sand quickly wrapping around his body. The sand continued to cover him until it was only his face that was visible. Grand sand burial were the last words he heard before he left the world of the living. Team 4 waited for a whole minute before Gaara released Jinin's broken body from the sand prison. He took out 2 scrolls sealing the corpse into one and the kabutori to the other. Let's go. Team 2 requires our assistance. Team 1's POV. I'm going to have shark sushi tonight. Ha 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 ha. Naruto laughed manically as he continued to battle with Kisame. During their dance, Naruto already managed to inflict dozens of large and deep gashes to the swordsman. Kisame was dumbstruck with the boy's style of kenjutsu. When their sword dance began, he tried to keep up with the boy but found that he could not as he found no patterns with the boy's attacks. To his persistence trying to read the boy's movements, he received cuts as a reward. Naruto came at Kisame spinning while the shark man kept up. The swordsman saw a slash aimed to decapitate him and raised the samehada. The blonde of course noticed this and changed the direction of his spin. He instead spun upwards and successfully cut off Kisame's left arm. Arg! You brat! Kisame howled as he disengaged and jumped backwards. He mentally sighed in relief when the boy did not come after him. This is not good. I'm going to end up dead if I keep on fighting. I've lost against the blonde kid alone, if the two decides to assist, I'm done for. He thought as he gritted his teeth. Naruto noticed the swordsman's eyes looking at all directions. He's planning something big. Right to his thoughts, he saw Kisame's chest swell up as he gathered chakra. Immediately, he mentally warned Hinata and Sasuke to get to a safe distance. Suten, Baku Suishaha, water release, exploding water colliding wave. Kisame spit out a great volume of water from his mouth, swallowing up and crushing the entire battlefield, the waves advancing towards Naruto and his teammates. When the waves died out, Naruto looked around and found the landscape devastated and turned into a lake. He immediately looked for his teammates as he could not find Kisame. Hinata-chan, are you alright? Naruto asked in concern as he helped the girl up. I'm okay, Naruto-kun. Thank you. Sasuke. The blonde asked his best friend. I'm fine. What do we do now? Naruto closed his eyes and felt the surroundings. He opened them once again as he pinpointed Kisame's location. He's headed to Team 2's location. Let's go. Naruto mentally informed them before he took off and chased after the monster of the mist. Sasuke and Hinata were a bit startled when Naruto spoke to them mentally. Hinata subtly activated her Byakugan and found a squad of Kiryumbu nearby, watching. She mentally informed Sasuke who had a confused look as they followed after their leader. Yo, Naruto. Are we really letting those Kiryumbu live to tell the tale? Sasuke asked as they caught up with the blonde. Yes. Naruto replied simply. Sasuke looked confused and went silent as they headed towards Team 2's battlefield. After a minute of silence, the raven-haired boy started laughing. Ha 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 ha. I get it. Ha 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 ha. Get what, Sasuke-kun? Asked Hinata. Your Uchiha friend has finally lost it. He's gone mad like his sensei. I wouldn't be surprised if he started talking in third person. Kurama told Naruto, making him sweat drop. Ha ha ha. Naruto, you mofo. Ha ha ha. Finally understood now, have you? Naruto asked, smirking. Ha ha. Yeah. So that was why you told us to stand down. You fought one-on-one against Kisame to show those Kiryumbu your skills. Sasuke said. Hinata finally understood what the boy laughing about and remembered Naruto saying something about him wanting to be put in the bingo book. So that was why you told him your full name during the battle. Yes. Replied Naruto. They'll report this incident to the Mizukage. Of course, she already knew about this going to happen. Those Kiryumbu were supposedly sent to hunt down Kisame and retrieve Samehada. Sasuke and Hinata nodded in understanding and continued with the chase. We're near. It would seem that Kisame has joined the battle against Team 2. Naruto said as he heightened his senses and felt his surroundings. He felt 21 other chakra signatures approaching. Teams 3 to 9 have defeated their opponent and are headed to Team 2 as well. Team 2's POV. Damn it. This shark guy's annoying. Karen said as she, Fu, and Lee regrouped. Earlier before Kisame arrived, Fu managed to destroy Kakuzu's Wind Heart thanks to her Tailed Beast Mode version 2, while Lee also managed to kill the Lightning Heart using the reemerge, Reverse Lotus. Karen and her summoned dragon were about to destroy the Fire Heart but were taken by surprise when Kisame joined the battle. Karen momentarily dispelled her summon while she and her teammates planned for another approach. "You brats are good. I give you that," Kakuzu said as he stood beside Kisame. Team 2 did not respond but smirked instead as teams 3 to 9 finally arrived and had the 2's rank Nukenins surrounded. A moment later Team 1 also jumped down beside them. "You Uzumakis really are a pain. I will be back and feed you all to Samehada," Kisame said. "I'm going to hunt you all down when you have your bounties on your head," Kakuzu promised as he recalled his fire mask to his body. "Uzumaki Namikaze Naruto. I'll have my arm back and I will come for you," Kisame said. Katon, Zokoku, Fire Release, Intelligent Hard Work. Sutan, Baku Suishaha, Water Release, Exploding Water Colliding Wave. Kakuzu and Kisame both called out their jutsu. Kakuzu produced a huge firestorm and combined the attack with Kisame's. A heavy concentration of steam covered the area causing everyone to have their senses dull. When they finally got rid of the smoke using wind jutsus, Kakuzu and Kisame were gone. Naruto, being the strongest sensor in the group, performed a half-mile scan radius but found no signs of their opponents. "Damn it! They escaped. I believe those two worked together. The way they regarded each other, they seemed like partners," Karen informed her classmates. "They did not care about the other swordsman dying. That could be troublesome. Thanks for that information. Anyway, my clones have captured Gato. Let's go." Wave Village Central Area. Naruto and his classmates found Gato in the middle of the stage. The clones let the villagers vent out their anger towards the gangster and took turns beating him up. As Naruto walked towards the stage, Gato shakily looked at him. Please, I can pay you lots of money. Just let me live," he pleaded. "I don't do business with dead people," Naruto said as he borrowed Sasuke's katana and used it to hack the fat man's head off. Later that night, Nami no Kuni held a celebration as they were finally free from Gato's rule. With the help of Tajuna, Naruto explained to the villagers their mission. The people wholeheartedly accepted them and were now sworn to secrecy. That very same night Wave Village officially became Nyauzushiagaku's fourth city. The Jonin senseis finally showed up and congratulated their students for doing a great job. Now they will focus on rebuilding the village and turning it into a prosperous city under the Uzumaki flag. They already informed the Uzukage of the students' victory against Gato and his army. Now they are going to rebuild while also remaining vigilant in case more enemies show up and try recapturing Wave. Chapter 14, Meeting 6. Time skip, 1 week. Secret location. I trust you have something important to tell us, Mizukage Dano, Onaki said. Due to his back problem, he was really grumpy at the moment. So he did not want to travel for a long distance. But since the Mizukage have called for a meeting, he and the Raikage had to attend. Yes. It is something that concerns the Hidden Leaf and the Yellow Flash, Mei replied. Her response immediately got the attention of the two Kages, especially the one from Iwa. What of him? Onaki nervously said. You see, last week, I tasked a squad of my Umbu to track down missing Nin Hoshigaki Kisame to retrieve the Samehada since I received intel that he was near Water Country. However, they returned to me empty-handed and reported what happened. Kisame fought one-on-one against a boy, estimated age is 11 to 13, in a Kenjutsu match. What surprised me is when my Umbu told me that the boy easily bested the swordsman and was able to cut off his left arm, and also gave him lots of deep cuts during their intense battle. In the end, Kisame had to flee. During the battle, the boy identified himself as Uzumaki Namikaze Naruto. My Umbu described him as a mini version of the Yellow Flash. What made him easy to recognize as not Minato was his 3 whisker marks on each cheek. The boy also had company. One was a Hyuga girl that they easily identified because of her eyes. The other one is a raven-haired boy that I deduced as an Uchiha due to the description they said. That's troubling, Onaki muttered. The Raikage, however, was silent for a few minutes before he spoke again. As I have already shared to you, last week, our spies in Konoha delivered important news. The Hokage has assigned elite Jonins to be the senseis of this year's graduating batch. These Jonin being Kakashi of the Sharingan, Konoha's Green Beast guy, and Asuma, who was a member of the 12 Guardian Ninja. Sarutobi asked them to train the rookies hard for the coming Chunin exams. The Hokage plans to take advantage of this event for Konoha to gain more contractors. Asuma noted that the Hokage skipped Team 8 specifically, to which he replied that he already had people in mind to put there. He said that Team 8 will be specifically made for the Chunin exams, with the team being composed of Rutambu. The sensei, however, has no idea that her team will be composed of already experienced ninjas. The Jonin sensei assigned for Team 8 will be a woman with the name of Yui Kurenai, who will be promoted from Takubutsu Jonin to Jonin. The cages were once again silent. Onaki was thinking hard while Mei simply waited for them to speak, as she already knew about it. This news about Minato's son and the two people with him. Onaki started. These are the children we tried to kidnap. After the failed kidnapping, the Hokage relentlessly sent us blackmails and demanded Iwa and Kumo to return the children. But it seems that they were never kidnapped by another village. I think I can see where you're going, Chuchikage Dano. About Konoha's team assignments, what if these Rutambu Sarutobi was talking about were these three? I asked. That was I was thinking. Anyway, I also have this implication that the Konoha raid was staged. Staged so that Konoha will have the reason to start an international incident against Kumo and Iwa. Mei asked, still feigning ignorance. This was the plan. Make the two cages see more reason to attack Konoha. Just like they did when the Alliance tried to destroy Uzushiagakur. Konoha, Kumo, Iwa, and Kiri will be destroyed in a one fell sweep move by Uzu when their armies clash. Yes. I and Onaki replied at the same time. If we'll think about it now, there were no casualties during those consecutive raids by unknown attackers. The supposed targets were mainly the Namikaze, Hyuga, and the Uchiha. The raids were a way of provoking you to attempt a kidnapping, since everyone would naturally think that Konoha was vulnerable at that time. The kidnapping act made it look like that those three children vanished. But the truth is, they simply added them to their Rutambu program, training them in secret. Now that the exams are coming, Konoha will finally let them out in the open once again. Mei said. Both Chuchikage and Raikage strongly agreed with the statement. Their bodyguards also agreed but kept silent, since their job was to protect their cages and not to join with the meeting. Meanwhile, Ricaudo was concentrating as he was relaying the live meeting to Uzu's whole council so that they could hear about it as well. What are you suggesting we do about this? Mei asked. I strongly suggest that we expose them. Not openly, but by adding the Namikaze boy to the bingo books. If he was able to defeat Hoshigaki Kisame alone and make him flee, then he clearly is an S-rank nin. Probably SS like his father. I agree with that decision. The boy is strong, I give him that. At least we could warn the world about this new threat. If he's already as strong as he is now, he could very well be in SS class when he reaches his peak of age. We could only hope that the boy doesn't know the Yondaime's techniques. Just wait, you old geezers. My nephew's going to destroy your armies using the high ration. Mei thought. Meanwhile Inuzu, Kushina, and Minato could not help but feel proud of their son. Onaki regarded Naruto with fear while I clearly had respect for the boy. The other council members were laughing at Onaki as he imagined Naruto knowing how to do the high ration. The Chuchikage could be very well pissing in his pants right now. Alright. So we're going to put him in the bingo book. What about the other two? Mei asked. They're not that much of a threat for now. This Naruto, however, we already know his Kenjutsu is S-class. His other abilities are still a mystery. I'll be sending you the information we have about the boy right after this meeting. Expect my fastest messenger bird tomorrow. Onaki said. Same. I'll also share what we have about him. Said I. Very well. The sooner we update the bingo book, the better. I'll wait for your mail. Until then, we prepare for the Chunin exams. Mei said as she stood from her seat, the two cages following and standing up as well. They shook hands and then parted ways. Konohagakur. Hokage office. Sensei. Jiraiya called as he entered the office through the window. Jiraiya-kun. News. Yes. Geto is dead. Geto? As in that guy among the top richest persons in the elemental nations. Yes. Apparently he was killed last week. I did my investigation when I heard it because I did not believe at first. My spies in the underworld organization have confirmed it. His riches apparently weren't actually his and were stolen. Now that he's dead, his banks have been mysteriously emptied. There were also no response from his known bases. How could this happen? He's supposed to be rich and probably has a lot of strong mercenaries around him. That's what baffles me, Sensei. I'm still investigating it. I'm going to track his last whereabouts and report back to you as soon as possible. His killer or killers must have been very powerful for them to be able to kill him. These mysterious people could be a problem for us in the future. Jiraiya said as he left the office once again. Land of Tea. And cut. Perfect. Wonderful. Great acting as usual, Yuki-chan. The director said. A girl who was about the same age as Naruto sighed in relief as they finally finished taping for the scene. Fujikaze Yuki was filming her very first movie, Princess Fuen. They were about to finish the movie and had less than 10 scenes left. Her manager, Asama Sandeu, helped her to a seat and gave her a bottle of cold water. Well done, Koyuki-sama. If there's anything else you need, just let me know. Sandeu said while he wiped the girl's sweat. Sandeu-san, you are calling me by that name again. If someone hears us we will be in trouble. The girl whispered. Forgive me, Yuki-chan, I just got excited. I'm sure your father will be proud of you now that you've become an actress and fulfilled your dream. As he said it, the girl's face immediately fell, sadness clear on her face. Father. His death will be avenged, I promise you that. For now we lay low and earn money with your acting. Soon we'll be able to hire an army to help us overthrow your uncle and reclaim the land of snow. Right. The girl said, now determined. This is why I'm doing my best in acting. Yes. Sandeu smiled and patted the princess' head. Koyuki and Sandeu have been on the run for more than 5 years. They finally settled a year ago once they were sure they have lost their pursuers and trackers. Sandeu had the princess change her name for her safety. They were given protection by a veteran shinobi who happened to recognize them as he was once a traveler before he started in the movie industry. The person reassured them that he will keep their secret and will protect their identities. Gaku was once a Konoha shinobi who defected after the attack on Uzu. He was good friends with the Yondaime and the Red Death and fought alongside them during the Second Great Shinobi War. He defected because he found out about Konoha's treason against the Uzumakis. His heart could not take it when he also heard the Yondaime supposedly committed suicide due to depression. He did not know about Naruto being alive, so he left, but would have stayed and protected him if he did. Right now he was glad Konoha never pursued him after his defection. Mainly probably because there were also others who defected aside from him and Orochimaru. He lived his days now as a director of his own movie productions. Koyuki smiled and looked at Sandeu. Have you seen my book? I'd like to read The Whirlpool Princess again. I can see why you love this book so much. Sandeu said as he took out a book from his bag and handed it to Koyuki. It inspires me. It's really good. Just then the booming voice of the director startled the two. Did I just hear you say The Whirlpool Princess? Yes, Gaku-san. Nervously replied the young actress, afraid that the director might not like her reading another book aside from the one they are filming. Suddenly the director had hearts in his eyes as he took the book from the girl and hugged it. Oh, such masterpiece, this is. I'd really love to meet the author of this book. If we could convince him and grant us permission to turn his book into a movie, it will be really great. Since the protagonist is a girl and is the same age as you, Yuki-chan, you will be the main star, of course. This is just perfect. With this book rising to the list of the top sellers, we will make profit if we could turn it into a movie. Gaku said as he handed the book back and waltzed away while muttering plans for him to find the author. Perhaps some shinobi skill application might work. Time skip, 1 week. Konohagakure. Hokage office. Sarutobi was puffing smoke in his pipe while he signed some papers. He was startled when the window of his office suddenly slammed open. He looked up and saw his student, Jiraiya, with a solemn look. "What is it?" The Hokage did not even bother greeting him and proceeded with business, seeing the white-haired pervert's expression. "Here. Look." Jiraiya took out a copy of the latest bingo book and opened to a certain page, placing it down on the desk for the Hokage to read. Sarutobi dropped his smoking pipe as he saw a picture of a familiar blonde kid. On the top of the page was a picture of Naruto taken during his battle against Kisame. He narrowed his eyes as he read the contents of the page. Name, Uzumaki Namikaze Naruto. Title, The Juggernaut. Age, 12. Height, 5'0". Weight, unknown. Affiliation, unknown. Genjutsu Mastery, unknown. Ninjutsu Mastery, unknown. Kenjutsu Mastery, S rank, primary, 6 swords, secondary, bow staff. Taijutsu Mastery, S rank, uses the super strength technique the same as Tsunade of the Sunin. Elemental Affinity, unknown. Bloodline Limit, Uzumaki clan's quick regeneration, long life, and vast amounts of chakra. Unique abilities, can use origami for offensive attacks and is very proficient in fuinjutsu. Description, can be easily recognized by his 3 whisker marks on each cheek. His long blonde hair is tied by a ponytail while his 2 bangs were supported by an unmarked forehead protector. Almost looks like the Yondaime Hokage except for his whisker marks. His parents are Konoha's Yellow Flash and Yondaime Hokage, Minato Namikaze, and the Red Death, Uzumaki Namikaze Kushina. His whisker marks are caused by his being the Jinchuriki of the Kyuubi. Became an orphan and a Jinchuriki the day he was born. Like most Jinchuriki, he lived in isolation and was ostracized by everyone in Konoha before he vanished at the age of 5. He was allegedly kidnapped by Iwanins, but this was never proven. Reappeared after 7 years in hiding. He has shown great proficiency in Kenjutsu during his battle against the Monster of the Mist who have gone rogue. Uses an unknown style of Kenjutsu with 6 swords. Defeated Hoshigaki Kisame on a one-on-one match by giving him multiple deep sword cuts while also managing to cut off the Nukenin's left arm while he remained unscathed. He was last seen in Water Country chasing after the fleeing said Nukenin. Traveling with a female Hyuga and a male Uchiha around his age whose names aren't identified. Level, S rank. Bounty, 60 million Ryo. Note, flee on sight if Chunin level or lower. He is still an unknown, so there is a chance that he knows the high ration. If you see him wielding a 3-pronged kunai, run for your life. If you happen to encounter him and survive, report it to your Kage immediately. Iwagakure is offering an extra 30 million Ryo for his head. The Hokage was silent for a long time as he reread the page multiple times. How? Sarutobi croaked. His throat became dry due to what he read. Jiraiya could merely shrug as he too was a loss for words. Uzushiagakure. Uzukage's office. The Uzukage, her family, and the other clan heads were also reading the latest edition of the bingo book and were now discussing about Naruto. He's already in S class, huh? Remarked by the Kaguya clan head. That's no surprise, his performance in the academy's already proof of him being a promising ninja even at a very young age. Said Hyuga Hitomi. The others nodded in agreement as they continued to talk about the blonde. Kushina, however, could not help but feel worried for her son. Naruto was now in the bingo book and had a large bounty. Minato, seeing his wife's worried look, massaged her shoulders and gave her a reassuring squeeze. I'm sure Naruto-kun knows what he's doing. Besides, this is what he wanted. People always looked to him as the son of the Uzukage or the son of the Yellow Flash. He wanted to step from our shadow and be recognized as himself, Uzumaki Namikaze Naruto. I believe this is a good thing for him. People will recognize him as someone strong not because he is our son but because he is very dedicated to his shinobi training to protect the ones he care for. Don't worry, we will still protect him with our lives even if he's already reached this level. Arashi said. We're not letting him get harmed especially by Konoha. Tsunade said. Anyway, Uzushiagakure's starting to resurface. Once we've made ourselves known once again, Naruto-kun will be given immunity due to him being the son of a Kage. Should someone try to assassinate or kidnap him, it will be an act of war. They'll be damned. Kaide said. Hearing this, Kushina nodded and allowed herself to relax. It has been 2 weeks now since her son and her classmates left for Wave. So far, nobody has tried to attack the village after their battle against Geto and his mercenary army. Unknown location, secret cave. A black and white creature could be seen eating a corpse of what looked to be a hunter nin. As the creature finished its meal, it began to talk as it took out a book from the vest of its victim. It seems that the kid you fought has already found his way to the bingo book. The kid got lucky. I was just taken by surprise, that's all. Kisame replied. Ha. Taken by surprise. And by a kid. Ha 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 ha, what a fucking noob. And you're supposed to be the monster of the mist. What a fucking pussy. A dark-haired teenager with a 3-blade scythe said. Shut it, you tranny. Or I'll feed you to Samehada. Just try it, fish cakes. I'm going to enjoy offering you to Jashin-sama. That's enough, you two. Kisame, how is your arm? A masked man said. It's good now, Madara-sama. I will be murdering people again in no time. That's good to hear. I want you to get back on track taking missions. The organization still needs funding. Understood, Madara-sama. For now, I will be switching the pairs. Hidan and Kakuza will be working together while Kisame and Sasori will be the new partners. The masked man then turned to the creature. Zetsu, I need you to scout around the elemental nations to look for more possible recruits while the others do mercenary missions. We need 4 more members. The masked man said before he vanished in a black vortex. Understood. Replied black and white Zetsu before they sunk down to the earth. Nami no Kuni. It has been 2 weeks since their battle against the missing nins. Naruto and his classmates were currently resting in their cottage after a whole day of helping with the village's construction. Naruto was currently having a friendly conversation with Kurama but were interrupted in his thoughts when he heard a knock on the door. Who is it? There was no reply but instead a book was slid in through the bottom slit of the door. Naruto walked closer and recognized it as a bingo book. His classmates who were chatting with each other noticed and huddled with Naruto. What is it, Naruto-senpai? Dosu asked. His other classmates also regarded him now as their higher-up due to his intelligence, strength, power, and authority. The latest edition of the bingo book. Naruto replied as he walked towards the living room and sat on the sofa, all his classmates following him, curious to see its new contents as well. Naruto opened the book and scanned to the latest page and found his picture on it. He smirked as he read the contents about him. 60 million ryo, huh? And an additional 30 million from Iwa. Well done, Naruto-kun. Kurama remarked, amused. Oh, look. We're mentioned as well. Sasuke pointed out. But they do not know our names. Hinata said. No problem. We'll introduce ourselves next time. The raven-haired boy replied, earning snickers from his classmates. Time skip, 1 week. Konohagakur. A week has passed since the latest release of the bingo book. Konoha right now is in an uproar due to what the description about the boy they've known as the Cuba brat said. Those who had been close to the Yondaime's family, especially Kakashi, were not sure what to feel at the moment. There were a few who did not believe the bingo book's contents, but most people and especially shinobi have finally seen the resemblance between Minato and Naruto. Some were feeling sick in their stomach due to the treatment they gave the boy, while the others were angry at the higher-ups for keeping it a secret. Now they have no idea where the boy was. Hokage office. Kakashi, Asuma, Guy, and other elite jonins were in the room. Kakashi was being held by Guy to keep his rival from pounding the Hokage. Hokage-sama. Kakashi breathed hard. With all due respect, we need an explanation for this. How come you never told us? How come you never told me? Stand down, Jonin. Sarutobi growled, emphasizing at the man's rank. I did what's best. I had to keep it a secret so other villages won't try anything, especially Iwa. And now it worked so well, huh? If you had known he was your sensei's son, would you have treated him differently? Sarutobi remarked. If you really was the student of your sensei, how come you never realized he wasn't the demon brat but instead your sensei's legacy? This made the one-eyed Jonin shut up. Asuma was disappointed at his father while Guy kept mumbling unyouthful. Excuse me, Hokage-sama. Kakashi bowed as he left the office, the other Jonins following. Sarutobi motioned for the hidden Umbu to show up. 4 masked figures appeared kneeling in front of the Hokage. I want Fugaku, Jiraiya, and Danzo in this room in 5 minutes. There will be no need to call for me. A voice said as the door opened, revealing the one-eyed Warhawk. Go! Ordered the Hokage. The Umbu left silently, leaving the 2 veterans alone. No less than 5 minutes later, Jiraiya and Fugaku were also in the room. Fugaku, I want to know what kind of genjutsu you used on the demon brat, now that it has been removed and people now see him as the Yondaime's son. The Uchiha clan head began explaining the name and the effects of the genjutsu he used. After talking, Sarutobi simply nodded in understanding. Oh well, it has been 12 years. It's bound to expire. Anyway, we need to talk about your daughter. He said, now turning at Jiraiya. I want Sasami to be apprenticed by Jiraiya up to the coming Chunin exams. I want her to have the toad summoning contract as well. Sure, no problem. It has been ages since the last time they had a summoner. And besides, I'm old. Ha ha ha. They'll need a younger summoner. Jiraiya said. Fugaku-san, if you're okay with it, then I could start training her tomorrow. That would be a great honor. I will speak with my daughter about this later. Thank you. Fugaku said. Danzo, my friend. Sarutobi called. I would like your route to go looking for Naruto, Sasuke, and Hinata. It's time they returned and served Konoha. Feel free to do whatever you want as long as they become part of route. That seems a great idea. Very well, if there's nothing else, I'll take my leave. Danzo said. Jiraiya and Fugaku nodded and left the room as well. Time skip, 4 months. Nami no Kuni, Nayuzushiagaku or 4th City. It has been almost 5 months since the graduating batch arrived. The bridge connecting to Water Country's port was finally finished. With the help of Naruto's Mokuton, the building process only took 5 months instead of 2 years. The buildings in the 4th City looked luxurious thanks to the great architects and engineers designing and planning. With Uzushiagaku's advanced research, buildings are much stronger and look grander. Everywhere you look you can see mansions and high-rise buildings. Back in Uzu, the first battle tanks, airships, and warships have been produced and were brought to the 4th City for testing. 4th City will be open and will be made known to the world as under the flag of Uzushiagaku. In other words, the higher-ups have the intentions of luring other villages to try and attack so that they could see how effective the machines work. The people of the 4th City of course knew this and were actually ecstatic about the idea of a village attacking a newly reconstructed village and its defenses. Since everyone in the 4th City are civilians and have no shinobi training, these advanced machineries could help them greatly. There were also new models of projectile launchers that were given to them for arms. There were 2 new inventions. One was a launcher that could launch 100 kunais, senbons, or stars per 30 seconds. The other one was another launcher that could launch stored jutsu sealed into tiny scrolls. This launcher increases the power of the jutsus tenfold, making it very deadly for the enemy. Of course, there are still seals placed all over the village in case the people needed help. Thanks to the great wonders of Fuinjutsu, the Uzumaki clan have invented huge rooms filled with seals that allow living and non-living objects to be transported to another area where a similar room is located. The room is secure since it only recognizes villagers and shinobi from Uzu. These rooms could be used for immediate evacuation, delivering products, or a way of bringing in reinforcements in case of emergency. The graduating batch together with their senseis are celebrating with the villagers. Everyone was at the newly constructed ballroom. Tajuna was currently at the stage and was in the middle of a speech. As the temporary leader of the 4th City, I would like to thank everyone who had graciously helped rebuild this village into prosperity. In behalf of the people here, we would like to thank Uzumaki Namikaze Naruto and his classmates for liberating us under the tyrannical rule of Geto. Had they not come, we would still be in poverty and more of our women would have been sold as sex slaves. We also thank their senseis for teaching them everything they knew and making them the fine shinobi they are now. Tonight starts a new beginning for the people of this village. The old man nodded and took a glass of champagne. A toast for the graduating batch and their successful mission. A toast to the soon-to-be promoted. A toast for the new fourth city. Yeah. Everyone replied as they raised their glasses and drank. The people spent the night celebrating along with the soon-to-be promoted. On the following morning, everyone was once again gathered to see Naruto and his classmates off. Once again the people of the fourth city thanked them for their great help and extended it to the Uzumaki. Naruto and his classmates along with their senseis bid their goodbye before taking off to Uzushio. Time skip, 2 days. Uzushiagakuer gates. The class finally arrived back to their homeland after 5 months of being away. Unknown to them, their senseis have informed Uzu about their return. As Naruto and his batchmates approached the gates, they were surprised to see a huge crowd gathered. The students recognized their families among the crowds. What caught Naruto and his friend's eye was a huge group consisted of girls, all of them clutching a book and a pen. Those in front had a banner saying, "Welcome back Naruto-senpai." While some were screaming, "Please give me your autograph." Naruto's classmates walked forward to greet their families while he remained confused, staring at the group of girls. "Kurama-chan. What's going on? Idiot. They're welcoming you back, of course." Naruto simply sighed but smiled at the crowd, making the girls squeal in delight. "Naruto-senpai. Please sign my copy of your book." "Naruto-senpai. You are so awesome. Are you going to write a sequel? Please sign my book." Were the things Naruto heard. He smiled and began signing the books and answered their question, telling them that he was currently working on the second book, making the fangirls scream in excitement. After the greetings, the batch headed towards the Uzumaki office to report their success. "Uzumaki office. And then we bid goodbye and headed back here," Naruto said as he finished his report. The Uzumaki nodded and then gave Minato a knowing smile. He nodded and opened the door, allowing 9 jonins inside carrying 3 chunin vests each. "Your senseis have already sent their evaluation about your performance 3 days before your arrival. The council have already reviewed this and were impressed with the reports. As the Uzumaki, I am very happy to inform you that all of you have passed the graduation exam and are promoted to chunin." Everyone clapped their hands as the Uzumaki handed them their chunin vests. After everyone wore their new vests, the Uzumaki spoke once again. "Now that you are chunin, you now carry more responsibilities as a shinobi of your village. Carry your rank with pride and become an inspiration to those who are still at the academy and wishes to become a shinobi one day. Since you were away for 5 months, I am giving you a 1-week vacation to catch up with your family and friends. After that you are to report to me for duty to receive your first missions as chunin." Dismissed. They all bowed and left the room. Naruto, however, remained inside the office. "Yes, Naruto-kun?" asked the Uzumaki. The boy simply smiled and tackled his mother into a hug. Minato laughed as he ruffled their son's hair. "I missed you, Ka-chan, To-chan. We missed you too, Naru-chan. Congratulations on your promotion." "Thanks." Naruto grinned. "Oh, by the way, congratulations as well for your book. The Whirlpool Princess have already released its 2nd edition now with your real name on it. It has been added to this year's list of top sellers," Minato said. "Hehe. So that explains how they knew." Kushina simply smiled as she knew what Naruto was talking about. "Your fan club has gotten even bigger, Naruto-kun. You now both have fangirls and fanboys due to your books and you being on the bingo book. Just don't forget your family, okay?" Kushina teased. "Ka-cha-on." Out of nowhere, Tsunade and Naruto's siblings appeared and joined the group hug, congratulating Naruto for his promotion and his book success. Later that night, the family had a celebration and had dinner outside. 1 week later. Uzumaki office. "You 3 are going to Mount Katsuragi to look for this person. That is where he was last sighted," the Uzumaki said as she handed Naruto, Gaara, and Fu a folder. "Yotakata. Naruto asked as he read the folder's contents. There was a picture of a teenage boy with hair that covered his left face. The details said that he was a missing Ninfumkiri. Somehow, he looks a bit like Sasuke. Fu commented. Gaara simply remained silent. Now, I'm sure you are wondering why I chose you three for this mission and why not with your respective teams. Can you guess why? Kushina asked. The three were silent for a few moments as they thought of an answer. This guy's a Jinchuriki? They all replied. The Uzumaki smiled and then nodded. Correct. Now, I want you to find him and convince him to join Uzu. The Mizukage personally requested for this mission. She gave us the details why he's gone rogue. Gaara and Fu, you are to meet with Naruto at Mount Katsuragi. You leave the village in 2 days. Here is the map. I'm giving you up to a maximum of 1 week to complete it. You two are dismissed. The Uzumaki waited for the two Jinchuriki to leave the office and then paid attention to her son. Naruto. I'm giving you an S-class and secret mission. You are leaving the village in an hour and will go to Mount Katsuragi. Look for an old man named Tonbi and a girl named Hotaru. These two are the remaining members of the Tsuchigamo clan that live in that mountain, while the rest remain in their hidden village. The Tsuchigamo clan are hailed and feared during the Third Great Ninja War due to a kinjutsu they created. This technique, called Fury, Dahatsuden, could create a massive explosion and is capable of wiping out an entire village. The clan was and is still in a secret alliance with Konoha. The Sandaime and the Tsuchigamo clan chief that time made a secret alliance with the sole purpose of protecting the kinjutsu. However, I and everyone in the council strongly believe that the Sandaime only agreed to the alliance so that he could use the kinjutsu to his own selfish purposes. Your job is to bring Hotaru and Tonbi with you to Tsuchigamo village and convince the clan to cancel their alliance with the Leaf. You will be the representative of Uzushiagakuer. War is brewing. We cannot let the kinjutsu fall into the wrong hands. Understood. Kushina stood from her desk and then hugged her son. Be careful, Naruto-kun. I will, Mom. Naruto then kissed her mother's cheek before leaving the room to prepare for the mission. Time skip, 6 hours later. Naruto had been traveling for 5 hours straight now. Since he was an Uzumaki plus the Jinchuriki of the Kyubi no Yoko, he's far from getting tired. Stopping for a 5-minute break, he once again checked his map and found he was 3 miles away from his destination. He unsealed his bow staff that he christened as Stunner and once again took off. As the mountain came into view, Naruto heightened his senses and felt his surroundings. He felt a strong barrier up the mountain and knew he was at the right place. As he climbed up the mountain, he had to dodge and evade multiple traps that sprung. He was impressed at the amount of it and calculated its sheer power, concluding that if he got hit, he'll definitely fall off the mountain. Finally reaching the top of the cave, he took a look at his surroundings and spotted the small temple. It was his experience that saved him from getting riddled by a volley of kunais. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Naruto screamed as he dodged the attacks. Calm down. Tonbi-san, or Hotaru-san, or whoever you are, hold your attacks, yikes. Naruto raised his arms in a surrendering fashion and then said, will you guys just calm down? I'm not an enemy. Naruto sighed in relief as he felt the attacks stop. 2 figures appeared and came walking towards him. He saw the old man and the blonde girl. Damn. She's beautiful. Naruto thought. Ahem. Focus, Naruto-kun. You're on a mission. Kurama reprimanded her host. Naruto mentally sighed and then nodded. Greetings, my name is Uzumaki Namikaze Naruto. Naruto said as he bowed low at the two. I am Tsuchigamo Tonbi. The old man said, bowing as well. I am Tsuchigamo Hotaru, granddaughter of En no Gyoja. Naruto shook the old man's hand and so the girl. Hotaru's face blushed crimson red when she locked eyes with the boy. Kami-sama. Not another one. Muttered Kurama. We apologize about earlier. We did not know Konoha would be sending someone here today. Said Tonbi. Actually, I'm not a representative of Konoha, but a different village. How come? You're the son of the Yondaime, right? You look a lot like him. It's a long story. But I have a jutsu that can help us. While it may look as if it is happening for a whole 13 years, the span is only 13 minutes on the real world. I see. Well, I don't think you are an enemy. I do not sense ill will from you. Please follow us. Tonbi said as they went inside the temple. Wait, said Naruto. The two then stopped and watched the blonde. Without making seals, Naruto produced 6 clones. The clones headed to different directions and went down the mountain. What are you doing? Tonbi asked, raising an eyebrow. It's just a precaution. My clones will create a barrier seal. No offense to you, but the traps are actually easy to bypass for experienced shinobi. None taken. Tonbi smiled. Just then, they heard the voices of the clones. Uzumaki ceiling, 6-point barrier. Hotaru watched in amazement as a light purple prism covered the mountain. There. Now we can talk without worrying about intruders. The two nodded and led him to the mansion. As he entered the mansion, Naruto was amazed with how neat it looked even though the place was small. His attention was caught by a large picture frame of an old man with a long beard wearing a white cloak. Gandalf? Naruto asked, making Hotaru giggle. No. That's En no Gyoja. Hotaru's grandfather. Tonbi explained. Do not worry, Naruto-kun, I also used to call my grandfather that, said the girl. Naruto-kun already Kurama muttered, making the blonde smirk. Anyway, if you're ready, I will be telling you of my story and the village I represent. We're ready whenever you are, Naruto-san. All right. Naruto said as he made a dozen seal. Demonic arts, sands of time. Naruto clapped his hands and a seal appeared on each of his hand. He silently asked the two to hold his hand as he channeled chakra. The moment they held hands, they were pulled into a dreamscape. They landed on an unfamiliar place. Where are we? Naruto did not respond but instead pointed at something. The two looked and were surprised to find a younger Sandaime Hokage talking with the younger versions of the Yondaime Raikage, Sandaime Chuchikage, and the Yondaime Mizukage. This was the scene when the Hokage sold out the Uzumaki clan and convinced the 3 villages to attack. Next scene shifted to the Battle of Uzushiagakur. Naruto had to look away as he could not bear to see his mother and siblings heartbroken because of his apparent death. During that scene Naruto could not help but shed a tear when his mother began to wail for him. Tonbi was shocked and horrified as he watched this happen. Hotaru also shed tears as she watched. Next scene was the attack of the Kyuubi and the sealing of the Yondaime to Naruto. For the next moments they watched Naruto as a baby up to the point where he dreamt about his parents. Hotaru hugged Naruto tightly as the boy cried upon seeing his past life in Konoha. The jutsu continued to show them Naruto's memories and up to time he got promoted to Chunin and had dinner with his family that night. The last scene was him receiving his mission and then dodging traps until he reached the top of Mount Katsuragi before the jutsu ended and pushed them back to reality. Tonbi was a bit dazed about everything he just saw. Hotaru simply jumped at Naruto and hugged him tightly. I'm so sorry. I didn't know you went through all that. And now you had to watch it again because you needed to show us so we could understand you faster. She sobbed. Naruto patted the girl's head and ran down his fingers through her hair. Shhh, it's alright Hotaru-chan. You did nothing wrong. Naruto then looked at the old man. Now, Tonbi-san, I'm sure you understand now why you should denounce your clan's alliance with Konoha. They are consisted of manipulators and traitors. The old man nodded. The things you have shown us are more than enough for us to be convinced. You should know as well that we're no longer affiliated with the current Chuchigamo village. You see, the clan split into 2. The other half was loyal to En no Gyoja while the other was not. We're the only 2 left. As the acting head of the clan, I, Chuchigamo Tonbi hereby cancel the clan's allegiance with Konoha. There was a soft gust of wind indicating what the old man just said was true and was now in effect. As Naruto was about to speak, he stopped as he received the memories of his clones, making him clutch his head for the sudden memory influx. Hotaru noticed his discomfort and asked the boy in concern. Naruto-kun, are you alright? Intruders. We have intruders. They are now trying to take down the barrier. How many? Asked Tonbi. 5. Although only 4 of them are working. That would be the Magaki group. They have come to take the Kinjutsu so they could use it for their own purposes. Magaki group, huh? A rank in the bingo books. Known for their flawless collaboration techniques. Bounties 20 million ryo for them all 5. Naruto recited. Do not worry. I will protect you too. Listen, I'm going to put down the barrier so I could fight them. Before I do, I'm going to place you inside a small barrier so you'd be safe. Naruto did not wait for their approval and immediately flashed into hand seals. Moments later Tonbi and Hotaru were now safely inside the barrier. Seeing them safe, Naruto cancelled the larger barrier and waited for his opponents. The top of the mountain was huge enough for a wide-scale battle. Naruto was thinking what kind of jutsu he'll use against the Nuknins. Well. What do we have here? A double pointy-chinned guy with a huge shuriken in the back said. A bodyguard. Replied the one who looked like a girl in the group. Hey, don't you recognize him? Said the tallest. Yeah. It's the Yondaime. Said double pointy-chin guy. Idiot. The Yondaime Hokage is dead. That's his son. Said the girl. The Juggernaut. The one wearing a fishnet shirt and a vest said. Alright boys, we have 2 prizes here. Said the leader. The Kinjutsu and this upstart. It appears that he's protecting the girl. So we kill him first and then take the girl. We'll become rich when we deliver his head to the Chuchikage. Chuchikage, huh? Kurama said. Huh. So they plan to bring me to Iwa. Alright then. I've decided what jutsu to use. I'm not in the mood to play with them. Replied Naruto. Shiranami, leader of the Magaki group. The one with the fishnet shirt, Akabashi, second in command. The double-chinned guy, Chuzin. The girl, Benton. And last, the tallest, Nangu. Recited the blonde. Huh, you did your research boy. Chuzin said. Hey. I'm not a girl. Screamed Benton. Whatever. Now, you were saying you're bringing my head to Iwa. Naruto said as he took out a scroll and directed it upwards. Hundreds of kunais shot out from the scroll and covered the whole battlefield. Huh? What's that kid? Sneered Chuzin. You don't know how to throw your kunais? Didn't your mummy ever taught you? Oh wait, your mama is dead. Hee hee hee. What the thieves failed to realize, was that the kunais were no regular kunais but 3-pronged. Any last words? Naruto asked solemnly. Yeah, kid, whatever. We should be the ones asking that. Said Chuzin. His comrades, however, were silent. Those who had brains analyzed the situation and finally saw the structure of the kunais. At that moment they instantly knew they should flee. 4 flashes of orange later there were now 4 corpses without heads. The members of the Magaki group were no longer in the world of the living. Shiranami looked at his henchmen's corpses and stared at the blonde in horror who was holding a tantu. The Hiration. You can do the Hiration. He stuttered. Remembering the note on the bingo book, he began running for his life. Oh, no. You're not going anywhere. Naruto said as he flashed in front of the man and shoved a Rasengan on his gut, killing him instantly. I plan to keep this a secret until the exams, you know. Can't let you informing people about it. Naruto took the bandits' heads and sealed them into a scroll. He burned the corpses using fox fire, fireball. He grinned at Tonbi and Hotaru as he undid their barrier. There. You're safe now. Tonbi stuttered. I don't think we're safe as long as we're here. Well, if you like, you guys can come with me back to Uzu. In that way your clan's jutsu will be safer. Master. Hotaru murmured as she bowed at the boy. Master. Please take me as your apprentice. What the hell? Go on, Naruto-kun. Accept her as your student. Master. Ha ha ha. Naruto stood on his spot, blinking, staring at the girl in front of him. I'm not a master, yeah no. But master. Hotaru said as she stood up, her eyes gleaming with admiration. I've seen your memories. You're very strong both in mind and body. Your peers treat you as their higher up. You're the genius in your batch. I saw you destroy the Kiri swordsmen easily. And now I just watched you kill those thieves like they were nothing. Please, take me as your apprentice. I want to become strong like you so that I could protect those precious to me as well as my clan's treasured jutsu. Naruto sighed as he scratched his head. Alright, I guess. I'll be your master, Hotaru-chan. Kami-sama, that sounds wrong. He thought. Kurama was laughing in agreement. Hotaru cheered happily and jumped at Naruto, pressing her chests against him tightly. Oh my god, what have I gotten myself into? Thank you, Naruto-kun. I mean, master. You can just call me by my name. No need to call me master. But. Alright. Just try not to call me that in public, okay? Hi. Good. Now then, I'm going to send you two to Uzu. Naruto noticed that the old man was silent. He looked at Tonbi and saw him smiling at them both. They look nice together. Oh, yes. They'll make a great couple. Tonbi thought. Alright. Since my mission here is an S-class mission, we're just going to Hiration back to Uzu. We cannot risk other people seeing me with you. Understood. I'm going to place a barrier around the mountain to keep the place safe from thieves or others. After Naruto placed the seal, he unconsciously grabbed Hotaru into a tight embrace with his right arm while he gripped Tonbi's shoulders with his left hand. In a flash of orange, they were gone to the Uzukage's office. Naruto left a clone to explain the situation while the real him Hirashined back to the mountain. 2 days later. Alright. I got Yotakata's location. My clones are currently watching him on a distance. Let's get moving. Naruto told Fu and Gaara an hour after their arrival. They traveled for about an hour away from the mountain and got near the place where the Six Tails Jinchuriki was. Naruto sensed other people with the teen. They were currently fighting with him. Uchiha. Those damned eyes. Let's rip their eyes out. Destroy all the Uchihas. Kurama growled. Wait, Uchiha? What the heck's an Uchiha? Oh. Fu. Gaara. We need to hurry. Naruto rushed forward as his body became enveloped by red chakra, going into Tailed Beast Mode version 1, a tail appeared on his back. Fu and Gaara followed and did the same. Yotakata's POV. Yotakata was relaxing earlier at the topmost branch of a tree, blowing bubbles, when he suddenly felt his surroundings seem distorted. His Biju dispelled it for him and told him someone attempted to put him under a weak genjutsu. He prepared to fight as he got surrounded by 6 people. He recognized them as Konoha Umbu due to their headbands. What angered him and his Biju were their eyes. All 6 had their Sharingan active, 3 tomos on each eye. One of them threw a fireball at him and he had to dodge. The tree his was at earlier was now burning. He once again moved as he dodged another fireball lunged at him by another Umbu. Yotakata's eyebrows twitched in annoyance as he prepared to counter-attack. Bubble clone technique. 2 bubble clones materialized and stood side by side with the original. Ninja art, bubble bomb. Dozens of bubbles of all sizes were produced by the original and the clones and were sent flying towards the leaf Umbu. The Umbu scattered to avoid the bubbles as the bubbles exploded one by one, producing a popping noise that ringed their ears for a moment. Surrender now, 6 tails and be a good pet. One of the Umbu said as he glared at Yotakata with his Sharingan. He was about to cast a genjutsu at him before he suddenly got pounded by a strong force. Rasengan. The Umbu was sent away crashing to the trees. Due to the user using his tailed beast cloak, the Rasengan was empowered by demonic chakra. The Umbu was killed immediately as the Rasengan ravaged his body and demonic chakra entered his systems. Sabaku Q. Said another voice. One Umbu got caught by the attack and got covered by a sand coffin. Sabaku Soso. The Umbu screamed in terror as he got crushed into blood and gore. Drilling bug horn. Another Umbu screamed as he got pierced from the back by a demonic horn. Yotakata and the leaf Umbu were in shock. The newcomers suddenly came and attacked. The Six Tails Jinchuriki was looking at the newcomers with a surprised look. He got more startled when the blonde addressed him. "Brother, are you alright?" Yotakata was still in shock and was unable to reply. Naruto, Gaara, and Fu formed a protective line in front of him and faced the now regrouped Leaf Umbu. The Forge Insurer-Ki gasped in surprise when one of the Umbu's Sharingan eyes morphed into a four-pointed star and killed his two remaining comrades. The Umbu with a raven's mask looked at Naruto and spoke. "Hello, Naruto-kun. It's been a long time. I can't tell you how pleased I am to see you well. I'm not sure if you still remember me, so let me introduce myself," the Umbu said as he removed his mask and revealed his face. "I am Uchiha Shisui." That's it for part 6. Thank you for watching and see you on the next video.